Hi, I welcome you all in YuktMind's 10 Minutes and Newspaper Done Unique Initiative. We'll be covering today's the Hindu newspaper. You can also download the PDF of these news from our website that is www.yuktmind.com. You can also download the PDF from our Telegram channel, the link of which is given in the description below. So let's get started. We'll be covering 8 news today. From toxic gas leak in Punjab to drop in investment in Haryana to revenue villages of Odisha to copper plate degradation to India's SDG to stray dogs to Manuel Squencher's death and finally to India's defense minister's uh, visit to Maldives. We start off with our first news. It's a tragic news that 11 people have died after inhaling toxic gas leak in Punjab's Ludhiana. The gas has been identified as hydrogen sulfide. Its source is yet to be identified. Now, the second news is about dropping of investments in Haryana. Haryana once was one of the most sought after investment destinations, particularly for skill driven manufacturing sectors like automobiles. Haryana seems to have lost some of its sheen with its share of new investment projects in the country, tripping to a 6 year low of 1.06% in 2022 to 23, down sharply from almost 3% in the year before. So, the total investment outlays announced in the state fell 30% last year to around 39,000 from nearly 56,000 crore in 21-22. Now, the manufacturing investments in state has also declined uh, 60% to just about 9,500 crore. According to experts, the major reason for this downfall is enactment of a new law in early 2022 that reserved around 75% of private sector jobs with monthly salaries up to 30,000 for locals. This law, however, is in abeyance after being challenged judicially, but the suspense over its implementation remains a worry for investors. The last investor summit that is called Happening Haryana was held as far back as 2016. Third news is about over 6,000 villages, part of 38 unsurveyed villages of Ganjam district of Odisha, are set to embrace a new life with recognition of their villages as revenue villages under the Forest Right Acts. So earlier, because of their unsurveyed nature of villages, they were not able to get any welfare benefits of government schemes. Now they will get all these benefits. Now we move on to our fourth news. Copper plates decoded by Pune based Bhandarkar Institute sheds light on celebrated ancient Sanskrit poetess Shila Bhatrika. This development has shed new light on Shila Bhatrika, the celebrated Sanskrit poetess of ancient India, by establishing her as daughter of the famed Chalukyan emperor Pulakshin II of Badami, which is now in Karnataka. It has now been reasonably certain that Shila Bhatrika was a Chalukyan princess, possibly the daughter of Pulakshin II, who ruled from 610 to 642 Common Era and had famously defeated Harshvardhan of Kannauj in a battle near the banks of Narmada River in 618 Common Era. The importance of this decipherment shed a revelatory new light on Shila Bhatrika, who stood out as a poetess in the ancient Indian world in the heavily male dominated field of classical Sanskrit literature. The Sanskrit poet critic Rajashekhara, who lived in the 9th to 10th century Common Era and was court poet of the Gujarapati Hara, has praised Shila Bhatrika for her elegant and beautiful compositions. So, what is the importance of this copper plate? The decoding of copper plates also marks a notable shift in the historiography of Badami Chalukyas by placing Shila Bhatrika as having lived in the 7th century Common Era rather than the current theory, which has her wife of the 88th century Rashtrakuta ruler Dhruva. Now, the fifth news India, its SDG pledge goal, and the strategy to apply. A brief background the Sustainable Development Goals framework sets targets for 231 unique indicators across 17 SDGs related to economic development, social welfare, and environmental sustainability to be met by 2030. The good news is that India is on target to meet 14 of the 33 SDG indicators, including indicators for neonatal and under 5 mortality. full vaccination, improved sanitation, and electricity access. However, the national on target designation does not apply equally across all districts. While neonatal and under 5 mortality are currently both on target for the country, around 286 and 208 districts out of total of 707 districts respectively are not on target. Similarly, significant process on access to improved sanitation excludes 129 districts out of 707 districts that are not on course to meet this SDG indicator. Indicators such as eliminating adolescent pregnancy, reducing multidimensional poverty, and women having bank accounts have improved across a vast majority of districts beyond between the years 16 and 2021. Let's talk about off-target SDG indicators now. Out of total 33 SDG indicators, 19 are not on target as of now. Despite a national policy push for clean fuel for cooking, more than two thirds, that is 479 districts, remain off target. Similarly, some 415 and 278 districts are off target for improved water and hand washing facilities respectively. Of heightened concern are SDG indicators for women's well-being and gender inequality. No district in India has yet succeeded in eliminating the practice of girl child marriage before the legal age of 18 years. This is quite worrisome. At the current pace, more than three fourths, that is 539 districts, will not be able to reduce the prevalence of girl child marriage to the SDG target of 0.5% by 2030. Unsurprisingly, other critical and related indicators such as teenage pregnancy, that is between 15 to 19 years, and partner violence, physical and sexual, that may be tracked back to child marriage, are issues that India needs to escalate as priorities. Despite the overall expansion of mobile phone access in India, that is 93% of households, only 56% women report owning a mobile phone, with 567 districts remaining off target. So, how India can achieve all these targets in time? We can take lessons from our COVID 19 approach. Designing and implementing a policy response to a pressing issue is best viewed as an optimization problem. Relying on political will, responsive administration, adequate resources, and sound data. So, all of these four factors have to work simultaneously to make a policy successful. India adopted an optimization approach to the COVID 19 pandemic, and its success has an important lesson for such pressing issues. What is the way forward? India can take three lessons from our COVID 19 approach. So, we need a mission mode approach for galvanizing political administrative synergy for achieving SDGs. Second, India's success with COVID 19 was largely possible both because of existing digital infrastructure as well as new indigenous initiatives such as COVID data platform and the Arogya Setu application. Following these examples, India must put in place a coordinated public data platform for population health management by consolidating its many siloed platforms that into an integrated digital resource for district administrators as well as state and national policy makers. And finally, a targeted SDG strategy delivered at scale must be executed with the same timelines of India's COVID 19 relief package. Now we move on to our sixth news: stray dogs and poor waste management. What do dog bites have to do with poor waste management? The carrying capacity, that is, the ability of a city to support a species, is determined by availability of food and shelter. Free ranging dogs, in the absence of these facilities, are scavengers that forage around for food, eventually gravitating towards exposed garbage dumping sites. Dogs thus congregate around urban dumps such as landfills due to feeding opportunities. Indian cities generate more than 150,000 metric tons of urban solid waste every day. So, what role does urbanization play in this? Cities have witnessed a sharp increase in the stray dog population, which, as per official 2019 livestock census, stood at 1.5 crores. However, according to independent sources, it is around 6.2 crores. The dog bites have simultaneously doubled between 2012 and 2020. India also shoulders the highest rabies burden in the world. So, according to experts, the proximity of residential areas to dumping sites and the rise in dog attacks speak to core issues of unplanned and unregulated urban development, the lack of service affordable urban housing for all, lack of safe livelihood options, and improper solid waste management. So, how has India managed this problem? India's response to the stray dog menace has relied upon animal birth controls program, that is ABC program, through which municipal bodies trap, sterilize and release dogs to slow down the dog population. The second anchor was rabies control measures including vaccination drives. However, according to experts, the implementation suffer from low awareness around the health implication of dog bites, irregular supply of vaccines, delay in seeking treatments, and a lack of national policy. Now we move on to our seventh news. Gujarat continues to witness deaths of manual scavengers despite ban. From March 22 to April 26, 2023, as many as 8 people have died while cleaning sewers in various parts of Gujarat. This raises concerns about the continuing deaths of manual scavengers despite the fact that practice has been declared illegal across the country. Now, the final news of the day. Our Defense Minister, Shri Rajnath Singh, will hand over a fast patrol vessel and a landing craft to Maldives as India's gift during his visit to the island nation from May 1 to May 3. India is known for its neighborhood first policy. India's decision to provide the military platforms to Maldives came amid China's persistent efforts to expand its overall influence in the region. That is why India's vision of Sagar, that is security and growth for all in the region, along with its neighborhood first policy, as well as Maldives India first policy, seek to work together to jointly develop the capabilities within the Indian Ocean region. Thank you for watching this video. For PDF of these news, you can visit our website, that is www.yuktmind.com, under the Current Affairs tab. You can also download the PDF from our Telegram channel. Thank you.